Hello guys, how's it going? This is GaleForce Peaches bringing you guys today some different content. We're going into some gameplay between Numemon, this is our boy Jesse on Numemon, and myself on Imperial. So to start things off, going into this matchup, it's a pretty much an uphill battle for the most part. You really need to see most of your pieces to even have a chance. For most of the meta decks, going with Imperial, it's kind of how it is. Some of the other slower decks in the format, you actually get the time you need to set up, but against a deck like Numemon, you really you got to be able to handle that early pressure. So starting things off for my opponent, looks like he wasn't able to get an Ukomon off early, and throwing down the Satsuki without getting out his body is kind of rough for him as well. For us, we actually got a pretty solid start here, being able to get our champion out plus our tamer. No rookie off of the tamer here, but that's okay because we do get passed to a lot of memory. So now realistically, when a Numemon player just drops that 5 like that, you just gotta watch out for the ace. Like our buddy Fufu was saying, when you see that yellow Digimon out, that's the caution sign. You gotta watch out for that ace. So we go into our new Paildramon. Bottech his board, suspend his board, keep it from unsuspending. Kind of gonna go ahead and play into the ace here. At this point, it's a little bit of a battle of attrition. Your opponent doesn't have too many cards, so we're trying to force out the ace early here, even though using our partition isn't going to do too much for us because the bodies just die. And even in our hand, we don't have a ton. We don't want to play out the rookie because we're still floodgated from the Valk, so that just dies. Same thing with the champions, and I'm not really looking to waste an 8 here or give him more memory than he's supposed to. So we're going to pass it back to our opponent. He can't unsuspend, so that's just going to sit there for a while and chill. Then he opens up. It's the rookie. Looks like he probably drew into the Ukomon from either the Jerry or the rookie Evo. So he's just going to go ahead and go rookie, play the Jerry, and then play that Ukomon to pass turn. For us, as long as we have the right pieces, this board isn't like too hard to answer. As you can see, I am playing the Ladramon in this build. So he puts us to the 3 here, which is just about probably as much as we're going to need in this matchup, in this specific situation. So if we play the Wormmon, that's going to let us get a search, set up that end phase DNA rookie, and then I do play the one of the BT16 Wormmon. Being able to grab things from trash is just really strong. It kind of just like extends your like the amount that you can play through, especially when you're playing multiple different fours, because it gives you more options. So we do go ahead and get that XVmon from trash, and we have the Stingmon, and we're gonna go and DNA on up. Same routine. So for this one, we are going to have the Stingmon in sources, so we are going to pierce on check. So with that, we will proc the Valk. It's a mandatory effect, so if you check security while you have that guy out, he will have to pop your Paildramon, unless you get some type of DP boost. But that's okay, because we already know we have the second Paildramon in hand. And we also would like to try to get rid of any of the main cards for the deck, like the Jerrys, the Numemons, the Numemon X's. Try to get rid of those by sending them back to the bottom deck. So we do swing in there, get one check in, take a Ukomon off board, partition out, gain the memory, and then since it's already procced here, we're able to get free checks in without worrying about the Valk's effect. We do hit the Louis out of there, which, it's not too bad to hit it right now, because if he promotes it, we can probably just handle it, and then he doesn't have anything to bring out next turn. So he decides against it. We get the one check in with Paildramon, and then since he does have the Valk, we're able to just go over with the fighter mode. Would have been nice to have Dragon, but that's okay. We'll just do the fighter, put that back to his hand, so we just got to remember he has that in hand. We are able to send that back to his hand and get 2 more checks in, so we're as far as tempo goes, we're able to maintain the tempo on him right here, as well as maintain board state. So now he's just going to go ahead and get some checks in, try to maintain his own tempo, and then try to clap back here with the Edamon, and we know he has the Valk in hand. But at 0 security, at this point, it really doesn't matter because he doesn't have any set blockers, and we don't have to worry about like source stripping or bouncing and getting rid of any blockers. So even if he Valks us, there's really nothing much he can do. We're going to go ahead and play out the rookies, get our search, just like, good practices, don't want to miss these things. because we were testing, and that's what that's what it's for. We're trying to make sure we play things all correctly. And we go ahead and swing into security. Same thing with my opponents, just doing his due diligence here. Going to the Valk, -5 to my board, deletes the little body, but nothing to stop the attack from going through. That's game 1. Game 2, looking at this hand, it's okay. Not the best tamer we have over here, but it's definitely something that you can roll with, because you do have one rookie, plus the Searcher rookie, plus the Davis, so it's not so bad. As for my opponent, he gets to start off with an Ukomon. That's, pretty much best case scenario. If you see that guy in your opening hand, you want to keep it for that deck. And then the pitch 1, draw 2 to start cycling. He gets the Edamon, which is crazy. You can still resolve all the effects by pitching Edamon. And then it looks like probably just going to hit me with some pretty early pressure, going into the Numa X, swinging in there. We do get the kill, but he can just revive. Keep the cycle going. Dropping the Louis, bringing out the Chumon, retaining turn there. And again, just really good pressure by my opponent. Getting me down to 3. And then playing the double floodgates. As for me, I have to do something to try to answer this, or it's already game over. You can kind of see I don't quite have everything, but I at least have something to give a response. We could play out the Stingmon, but gain the memory, go to 0, then we can digivolve, but that's still not going to let us be able to DNA. Even the other rookie, even if we did a 3, gain the 1. Digivolve for 1, then we have to digivolve for champion for 2. Still, again, not going to be able to DNA because we need that end phase DNA. So unfortunately, just going to have to try to have the Togu stand in there and just help us survive a turn. Just do literally anything to try to survive this turn. But of course, my opponent doesn't even necessarily need to kill me in this spot. As long as he can completely take away my advantage, then there's pretty much nothing I can do. So, forced to attack. Fortunately, don't run into the Valk. It looks like my opponent didn't have it, so, we have a chance at something, at least for another turn, but realistically, the Togu was the only thing that kept me from dying last turn, and now he has even more things set up. So this one's already looking like kind of like a bit like a wash. Let's see. Do we even have the champions at this point? Yeah, so we had to use the Togu to try to survive. So without the Togu, we don't have the sources. We don't have the other Exabimons that we need right now. Too many swings. We just filled the body. Thinking maybe he can just play into our TR Ace. We can clear a body and maybe we can live a turn. Maybe we get lucky. We run into some security bombs too. So now over to my opponent. He's got both the Ukomons. He's got both the floodgates out. He's got the Edamon and the Louis. So he's pretty much got everything he needs. Looks like we just got out tempoed in this one. Weren't able to quite find our pieces in time. And just like I was saying, that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Like maybe if you get lucky, you get one of your tamers out of security, and that sets you up to answer an early rush like this. But most of the time when you move obots like this, there's pretty much nothing you can do. Probably gonna just do his due diligence, make sure he clears the 5 out of the way so he's not in any threat of getting aced. Just go ahead and clear the rookie with the Monze and then the Monze X to clear the 5. Doing all this before he attacks just to make sure that he's getting rid of this stuff. Again, just doing his due diligence, make sure that leaves as little to chance as possible. Yep, checking 2. Only have 1 security left. Checks the last one. That's it. Okay, start off, looks like he just, opened the Ukomon. He's going to set the Ukomon, pass me to 1. Looks like we missed rookie in this hand. This is already post-mole. Get the 2 cards. Not terrible. It does hurt just to get put back 1 turn, but at least we do have the tamer. We do have the memory setter, and then we do have the dual tamer for next turn, as well as the Gigadeath if we can stall him out a little bit. So he's going, gets the search off of the Ukomon, goes into his second Ukomon, the memory one, and then his cycle, trash 1, draw 2, right into the X. Kind of saying whole line here, but pretty easy when you're able to start off with the Ukomons, resolve the search, and then get your draws from the eggs. So kind of what we decided to do was we wanted to just go into champion. So like, as long as he couldn't kill me this next turn, we're going to have ourselves a pretty good rebuttal, because we do have the rookies in hand, the champions, as well as the pale draw ready. Just need to kind of see our top end, or worst case scenario, just do the Giga Death, clear board, try to reset game state. The only issue with that is we do send our opponent over with quite a bit of memory, and they do already have the 2 Ukos established. So we do know for them this turn it's going to be quite a tempo swing. So we would need something huge like a Giga Death, or a full board cleared with the fighter mode to really even have a chance at coming back at this one. Goes heads with the Monze X. Gets the trash 2, gets a cycle. Able to get that second Ukomon set there. Goes through almost my entire security, still with the 4 memory. There's the Numemon into the Satsuki. It's going to give him the rush, take me down to 0 security, and then at this point we're literally just praying no Louis. Fortunate, opponent does have the Louis, so he did have pretty much everything he needed there with exactly enough memory. So I just gave him 1 too much memory, plus not much you can do when they draw everything, especially if you're going to brick rookie turn 1. Going into match 2. Match 2, this looks like a pretty solid hand. We do play the one of the new XVmon. I do like this one for a couple of reasons. Sometimes the on-play and when digivolving can come up clutch to give one of your things protection. I'm not always using it for him. Sometimes I'm using it for a Palesra that I had to double swing with if I don't have like Dragon or something. Also the 2K inheritable can come up as well. And then the raid, especially onto your opponent's floodgates or your opponent's Ukomons, just to start clearing their board. Because you don't always clear all their mons after you paled or something, especially if there's like more than 2, because you can swing into a couple of them. But you know, even as just bodies on the field, you know, a Chumon's still gonna keep you from gaining memory, and Ukomon's still gonna gain a memory and hatch. So we want to try to get rid of those if we can. Set the dual tamer here. Couldn't really raise out and do that play because he has the Monze established, so we don't want to get Vout. Just checking in security. We knew we were going to have to take some damage here. Really just praying to get as good a security as we can. But he stops early, just gets the 1 swing in. Doesn't want to give me too much advantage either. Gets me to the 1 memory. But you know, with a champion and raise, Imperial can do a lot with 1 memory, so it's not like too big of an issue. We'll grab the rookie, since we do have both the pieces, plus the pale as it is. Going into the Stingmon. What you want to do. We won't gain the memory from the Stingmon, unfortunately, because that Chumon is there, but we will gain the memory from the Tamer, and as well as being able to strip those sources. So DNA, we're going to put those rookies suspended, take out all the sources, and then we're at a 10k stat line. Not super impactful in this moment, the 10k stat line, but it does come up sometimes, especially certain matchups. Definitely getting rid of that proto form, and definitely getting rid of that Numemon X. Suspend board. Now it's kind of decision time here. You could try to go for cheeky swings if you want to, but if you want to be safe and also just kind of like threaten your opponent, the dragon mode will come up big. Also, if you can like try to force it on your terms, that's the if you can try to force the ace on your terms, that's always going to be better, because then that means you can try to set something up to counter it. But you know, if you're just going to go in there with your Paildramon, get Valked, and then very likely just going to clear your board and you're not going to be able to establish. Just like the first game that we played where we had to pass our opponent to 3. So we do bring out the dragon mode. We don't have the fighter mode actually in hand, but of course your opponent doesn't know that. So if they don't want to just get their whole board sent to bottom deck, you know, they got to play around carefully, because that can just be a lose for them. So he does hit me with the Monze, give me the -3. Go into the second Monze X. Finish off that dragon mode. Yep. We'll force the partition. And then, since the 1 Monze already activated, the second Monze is still pending, so that one's going to activate as well. my on plays, of course, will happen as well. So I will choose to protect my Numemon from battle. We do hit the second tamer in security, which is really big for us. Obviously, we're maxing that thing out at 4. If you can see it in security, that's the freest way to play it. But, you know, if you can get 1, that's cool as well. So we're at 3. We do have the 2 tamers, but we are in a tough situation because they do have the full board. However, we do have Gigadeath in hand, so like forcing out the Valk in this play and just reestablishing ourselves and raising for next turn seems like a totally fine play, because they do have their whole board suspended out, which is why like sometimes when you just have to suspend out a board, no matter how much advantage you give your opponent, as long as they can't kill you and you can answer it with something like a Gigadeath or the fighter mode from BT12, then it's actually kind of okay. So we do play out the Numemon because, like I said, we do have the 3 rookies here, and we just want to try to give our opponent as little as possible while still giving ourselves advantage. So the Numemon is going to net us a memory here from the second play, as well as, so that's the BT16 Numemon's going to net us the memory. He doesn't have his Chumon on board anymore. And then the second Numemon's going to net us 2 cards, because we do hit the Davis as well. So we get our ace. So at this point, he knows we have the ace. And now we have to attack because the Numemon. Go ahead and swing into security. Choose not to raid. Not that it matters. Once the Valk comes out, we're gonna die anyways. And yeah, it pretty much also says you really have to answer the field now. That's why we played out those rookies. You really have to answer the field now, so it's like you have to Valk. So he does choose to Valk there. We set the rookie, and then at this point, our 9 plus the overflow from the Valk is gonna set him to 1. And then we don't leave a body out for Satsuki, so like he's only going to 2 memory. With 3 security, there's no way we're losing here. At least not this turn. So yeah, up to 10, send it to bot deck. Send those 5s. I always like to try to stack the Ukamons so that they'll draw them first. Because late game when they see those Ukamons again, they're not gonna have any rookies, so the Ukamons really don't matter. So like I was saying here, oh, and actually, yeah, sorry, we retained turn there with that. Because we're at 5. Yeah, because we kept that 1 memory from the rookie. So 5, play for 9, overflow 4, go to 0, which nets us the Davis, adds 2. Worry that we're probably going to die here. He does have the 1 Satsuki already on field, so that reduces the likelihood that he's able to get that. You know, still got to be a little bit worried because sometimes they can just get you with like the Numemon, Satsuki, Louis. But I do have, like I said, 3 security, so I felt safe enough to go ahead and pass him to 4. Guarantee myself 3 memory next turn with the 2 rookies, and just being able to set myself up to clap back. And then we do have the promo Wormmon there. We like it, just again, more options to search our tamer, and then we do play the dual colored champions with the Lydramon and the Togu. So start of our turn, going to 3. He does set the Monze, so we do have to be cautious about the Valk. We know we sent 1 to bot deck, but still always got to be wary. Starting off, playing the Wormmon. Oh yeah, and it can add your options, so that's also pretty cool. So we grab the Gigadeath here, send back 2. You know, and the Gigadeath can come up later when he has a full board, or even just when he has 1 Valk, because you're only playing that for 5 essentially, which is absolutely worth it to clear that Mon. So we play out the second one, and like I was saying, we do get the add 2 here, so we do get the Paildramon as well as 1 tamer with Ken. We do have to bot deck the Numemon, but you know, with this hand, obviously it's no issue because we do have the 2. Alright, so we start off with the Numemon. Would be nice to see the Stingmon here, because you would like to keep the Togu on board if you can. Not always, you know, mandatory, but if you can, it's nice to keep that as well. If you DNA with it, it's fine as well, because then if they have to, you know, they don't have any real way to they don't have any real way to strip your sources. And the Wormonzu, which people don't really play as much anymore, is the only way to digivolve your Paildras or your 5s. So most of the time, to get rid of your board or your Paildras, they're gonna have to DP reduce it and delete it. So you're able to get your partition off and play your Togu. And that guy can be a bit of an issue just by himself. So we are forced to go into the Togu, and unfortunately, as we pass turn in DNA, we do see the Stingmon. But still, we're able to resolve this. We do have our jamming. We do gain the memory, so we're still feeling fine. And just to prevent myself from getting valked during his turn, send that right back up. Keep my opponent with a minimal amount of like board presence, and not a great way to just answer this this fighter mode. He searches, grabs the Death X. That card's definitely an issue. I mean, like, I think it's a fair card. But for us, we got the 3 Tamers out already, so the 2 Digis, that's already going to make it 3 times 5 15, so only a cost of 5. Fortunately, we will keep our Mon because we do have the Digi underneath, the 5 underneath the fighter mode. Gets his Tamer for free plus Rush with jamming. Right into the Edamon to force the play. So, you know, kind of that same situation that we were talking about the previous time, except for this time we are at 1. So it is a little bit more worrisome, but, you know, as long as we're able to clear his Valk and reestablish, you know, we got a chance. We just can't give him too much memory in this situation, essentially. And unlike the other situation, we don't have a bunch of searchers, or our VMons aren't going to net us any memory. So we will just force it here. So he takes out on Digivolve, -5 to the board. I check security, hit the Louis. Chooses not to raise, which I think that's fine, right? Does the Uko not get its effect when raised during opponent's turn? Not sure. So yeah, like I was saying, kind of same situation here. We're just gonna get our rookie set up and raise. We could have set champion as well, but we're at 1 this time, so we're not choosing not to set the champion just because we really want to make sure we're not gonna die in this situation. And since he has both Satskis out, you know, we bought deck 2 Ukos. He does see the other one, so at this point, you know, it's like, does he see the Louis? If he sees the Louis, we just lose. We already have the Satsuki, so we're not worried about that. But realistically, the only thing is if he has the Louis or not. But besides that, we do have the Stingmon and the XVmon in hand, as well as at least 1 rookie. So we are going to have a decent clapback. Runs into the fighter into security, clears that Mon for us. And then Hearts plays the Monze. Gets to tuck his X. Puts me to my 3. Sets himself up for Valk. Very strong. Okay, so we draw into the Lydramon. So we would like to have seen another rookie here, but that's okay. We will play out this rookie still. Then, you know, not too much of a choice here. We would like to see the Paildramon, and we see it, which is pretty great, the BT-16, and we see another one, which is also great. So we'll go right into it here. And this is max memory, pretty much. Got both the memory gains, plus 2 of the Tamers. And then he has too many cards for me to think, does he not have it, or does he have it, or does he not have it? I know sometimes some players only run 2 Valks, but you know, I'm pretty sure my opponent runs 3, just from you know, we know each other a bit, and I wouldn't really want to risk it too much either way, because I could lose if I risk it, but and he has it, I just lose. But in this situation, at least I'm keeping it more up to like what I can do, what I can have still control of. So we keep the Louis from coming back up. He is out of eggs, so he won't get advantage if he does even see the next Louis, and that Louis doesn't give him advantage either. Swinging with the Dragon mode. The Dragon mode really basically just says you can't ace me. So if he had it or he didn't, either way. Checking in with the Dragon mode. We definitely want to keep that there. I feel like in this situation, I could potentially have done something else to pass turn, but we do know that he has the Death X here, so we don't really want to give him another Mon to make that cheap. Because at this point, unless that Mon is specifically going to give us some advantage, we're just going to make that Death X cost him 5. So he brings out the Numemon for 3. And we really see it. We don't even really want to give him more than that, because if he's able to keep that Death X, play it, he sets another Mon on his board to potentially give my Dragon mode more neg. Because if he's able to resolve all the way to Monze and have multiple Mons on board, then he can potentially neg me. Because neg 3 from the Monze, then plus it'd be neg 6 from the Monze X if he was able to get the Death X off. So that'd be de-digivolve down to the Pyldramon, so that would force a partition on the Pyldra, and we'd lose our Dragon. But like I said, it's okay. We didn't have to play the rookies forward because we do have the 2 dual tamers set up at this point. So we'll go ahead and use the first rookie, find the piece. We're able to find our XVmon, and then we do have the BT16 Wormmon. And like I said, we played this one just because it's able to actually like give us so much options in this mid to late game. So you know, if we needed to, here we go. We can go to the Togu or anything else. Give myself battle protection or the other colors. But we do just need the Stingmon, so now we have both on board. We can go ahead and go into our Pyldramon. You know, this is still definitely like, you know, what you mostly are going to want to do with it. You still just want to get the XVmon, the Stingmon, gain your memory, swing jamming, piercing. So yeah, go ahead and strip out the sources. Yeah, between these 3 cards right here, the Dragon mode, Pyldramon, and the Davis and Ken, definitely some of the strongest cards Imperial has gotten in a long time. And it's crazy to think that it's still probably like 1.5. Let's go ahead and swing into the Monze X. Resolve all our draws. Dare your opponent to ace you. And my opponent's too good for that. Well, we do pierce, check 1, able to get the 2 swings in with Pyldra as well. And then we do have the second Dragon mode to go ahead and suspend a tamer, unsuspend. And swing for game. Not a bad starting hand. Could ask for more, but you know, we still have that. We have the rookie that we want to play in raising, as well as the Vmon to search. And all of a sudden, it's the perfect hand because we do have this Vmon. So that means as we slap out this tamer, next turn we're going to have that tamer to give ourselves that reduction for the Vmon, as well as we have the BT12 Vmon to search and set up an end phase DNA play. So if we must, we can attempt to answer, because all we're going to need is the X Vmon in this spot. Ooh, very nice. Get the first check to be a Giga Death. So bot deck that Numa X right off the bat, keeping that thing out of his hand or out of the trash. So since we were able to do that, we were not feeling pressured to have to raise forward and answer him. So we'll just go ahead and resolve the Ken Davis without bringing forward our Vmon. Unfortunately, we do see two of our options having to go to bot deck. So we are going to be playing the rest of this game without Giga Death, since we are only running the 2. Still, we can try to weather some early pressure as long as we can establish ourselves. And with the memory tamer and the dual tamer, you know, it's feeling pretty comfortable. The memory tamer can be really rough sometimes, especially if you don't have dual tamer in hand. Like, you know, if you're playing with the old Stingmon where starting your turn with 3 memory and a champion and raise is viable, you know, that's okay. If you don't have the DNA rookie. Like the promo Vmon or the BT16 or Vmon or Wormmon. Those ones don't have end phase DNA. So those ones, you're going to be okay if you have that starter deck 9 Stingmon, because you could just play that for 3 and then DNA. In this list, we don't play a lot of those. I want to say I'm just playing 1 of the BT16 Vmon and one of the BT16 Worm, and then 3 of the promo Vmon. We don't have the X Vmon in this one, but we do have the Lydramon suspend out his stuff. We would like to attack here in this situation, but again, with the Monze out, we are going to have to be cautious. The opponent does only have 5 cards in hand, and there are some times where you do want to force it, but we already know we're playing with no Gigadeath. So if we, if we can't really out it, then we don't want to force it. Taking away the sources that are responsive. Doesn't look like he has anything else on those 2, so we'll just have to take away a dead source. Again, you could go with should I attack, should I not? We don't have the jamming, so that's another reason why attacking just isn't really going to be the option here. So we go right into the dragon mode. Have to select something that can't unsuspend, but we're just going to punch over it. Dare our opponent to blast on us, but Jesse is too good, he will not blast. Then he gets out the Satsuki, and annoying, he's gonna at least have the 5 memory here, but at least he doesn't have a rookie set, so he can't get extra value from that Ukomon. And then we do play out the Ken Davis there, realistically just because we drew the second Wormmon, and with the second free body and no champions in hand, we really want to make sure we're digging to try to be able to reestablish if he answers this dragon. So it goes with the Monze here to the Monze X, or just straight into the Monze X, but chooses not to play a Digimon because that would proc our dragons all turns. Instead, he's going to go with a Death X. A little expensive, but still gets the job done of getting rid of that dragon mode. So with those rookies like I was talking about, go ahead and spit those out. Do have a Death X to worry about now as well, so we might have to try to play through these things a little more awkwardly. So we pick up the rookie because we also would like to have a rookie in Raise, and we did not see a champion. We did draw for turn that Stigmon, so realistically we're looking for blue, and we do find the Togu and the XV, so we'll go ahead and grab that XV, blocked at the others. It's okay, we do have another dragon in hand already, building that rookie, so we do have a ton of memory. So realistically, the options are pretty limitless here since we have the dragon as well as our BT12 fighter mode. Go ahead and set up our second Pildramon. And I think the reason we wanted to set this second one up is we wanted to have the jamming out here, since this one does not have jamming. It is only 4K, so that could end up causing some issues for us. Take out those sources. I believe the Ukomon already has none. Suspend those down. Yep, no messing around. We'll go to the dragon over here because this dragon won't be able to, or that Paildra won't be able to swing twice because we wouldn't want to risk it without the jamming at 4K. So we're going to allow this Paildramon to do the attacking for us. Again, kind of daring our opponent because we do have that dragon there. And then with the piercing and the jamming, and then at 8K, we'll have to go straight into security. Gets the Protoform to hand. Again, Protoform is a little suspect for him as well, because if he activates that while we have Dragon, we're just going to be able to blast on him. Or, not blast, but Evo into a fighter. So we do see the Death X here. I'm pretty sure my opponent does not play more than one. So even with that Death X on board, letting my Paildramon partition after already getting those 2 checks in, clearing out the Ukomon, it feels okay because now we have our 2 tamers set up, we have the champion in raising, and now we have the 2 champions on board. So now our opponent realistically is going to have to answer a lot with only the other like cards in his deck, like Numemon X's and Numemons. And he had no way of getting back into a line easily. So I knew he was going to have to at least pay for 3 to get a Jerry or a Numemon out, which he does, and he does get the Numemon with the Satsuki. That's going to go ahead and proc his Monze, so he's going to give -8. He's already trying to get rid of that dragon. And then go straight into the Valk here. So he's doing that on his turn, which is actually just going to be okay. He's going to clear all those champions, but we do have quite a bit in hand still to kind of try to reestablish. But definitely one of the smartest moves by the opponent there to try to establish that Valk on his turn to floodgate out and null my partition. So we draw the rookie. Get the searches. We do need some pieces here. Yeah, we do have the XVmon from Raze, so we are able to find that Stingmon. If we didn't find the Stingmon, obviously we probably just have to go to another rookie and continue digging. But fortunately, we were able to find the Stingmon. Brings out another Pyeldra for us. We'll be able to take away those sources. Which I'm actually not even sure. I think he just has a Monze X probably as a source here. Don't have like the Giga Death or the fighter mode to bot deck the board. We can try to push for game. With the Valk Ace being proc the previous turn, we can also just use that as a means to proc our partition. Especially if we have more 5s. In hand, because then that thing can just basically be used to help print memory for us. Go ahead and attack into security, proc the Valk, and then in this instance, since they don't have a level 5 or any blockers, we can just use the Valk to force the partition out our champions. And then with the good reliable ST9 Pyeldramon, this is why this one's still super important, especially for this matchup. You're able to bot deck those level 4s as well as push for game in situations like this. So we'll get rid of the Numemon, and then since the Valk already procced, go ahead and hit that double swing for the game. That's it for this one, guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and as always, we'll see you in the next video.